All right, guys, we're back with another video. Ford has come out with their Q2 earnings report, and I have it. I have it here. It's out. I know it came out a few days ago, but I have it right here. And there's one particular thing I want to emphasize. Okay, remember a couple weeks ago when Teslas came out? What was the big thing? What was the big topic that all the mainstream media outlets were talking about? Margins. It's a margin story. Every headline, margins, Tesla, margins. What were the margins for Tesla? Are they going up or down? Are they up 1%? Are they up 2%? Are they down 0.1%? Margin story all over the place, right? When Tesla's involved. What about Ford? Ford's numbers came out. What are the margins for Ford? Let's talk about it. Okay. Negative 58.9%. Ford Model E, their electric car division, was negative 58.9. Okay, that is terrible. That is absolutely terrible. Okay, and I have their numbers for the last like 4 or 5 quarters. So pay attention to not the blue arrow. Pay attention to the yellow circled part. Okay, this is their margins for Q1 2022. Negative 39. They put this bracket around it so some people won't understand that means negative. So negative 39%. Q2 22, negative 38%. Q3, negative 43%. Q4 2022, negative 40%. Q1 2023, negative 102%. Bro, what is happening here? This is terrible. And now they're negative 58.9%. This is absolutely terrible. And none of these outlets are covering it, but we're going to get into the first video today. And let's see if they talk about it at all. They better bring this up because I'm going to be super pissed. I'm fired up today. I'm sorry. I'm really fired up. But they better talk about their margins and their EV margins because it was absolutely terrible. Let's see. Let's go.
Let's talk about Ford because those shares are moving lower after its second quarter results showed a slowdown in its electric vehicles. The automaker now expects full year losses in its Model E unit to hit $4.5 billion. Previously, it saw losses of $3 billion. Ford CEO.
Okay, there you go. All right, that's good. Talk about losses right up front. They lost $4.5 billion. Yearly loss, 4.5 billion. And last year they lost 3 billion. So they're losing more money. Okay, that's good. Okay, kind of calming down. That's a little better.
CEO Jim Farley saying in a statement that, quote, EV adoption will be a little slower than expected. And in another blow to the company, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said this morning Ford is recalling over 870,000 of its F-150 trucks due to risks with its electric parking brakes. So it doesn't seem like.
Okay, so they're slowing down. Ford. Oh, wait. Is Ford. Okay, this is what I don't understand. Are they slowing down their production? Or he said it's going to be slower than expected. I think it's going to be slower than they expected. I don't know if they're actually trying to slow down, but maybe they are. And then they got a recall. But this is actual physical recall. People have to bring in their trucks. Not like Tesla where they have a recall and it's all over the news, but it's just the over the air update. And it updates in my garage at night and I wake up and it's fixed. So this is an actual physical recall of 870,000 trucks.
Like that is a huge issue, but it's a high number of vehicles and it's their best-selling vehicle. So something to keep in mind here. What's so interesting to me here with Ford and this EV story is that effectively all of the EV makers, not just Ford, but Ford seems to be showing a lot of stress from this. You know, people don't want to spend as much on this stuff. They might want electric vehicles, but they don't want to pay what they see as overpay or too premium of a price for electric vehicles. So that seems to be the crux of the issue here. Everybody from Ford to Tesla is up against it. But
not for Tesla, because the Model Y is the best-selling car on the planet right now. And people it's outselling the Toyota Corolla, which is like tens of thousands of dollars less than a Model Y. People are putting up more money for the Model Y They're usually coming from like a Civic or something smaller, and they're paying way more for the Model Y than they would ever pay for because of the cost savings and the safety and the performance and the technology and the over-the-air updates and the self-driving and all this stuff. So that's not true for Tesla, but it's true for an inferior vehicle. If you're gonna pay more for something, you're not gonna pay more for something that's worse. Like if you're gonna buy a Corolla and then there's like a Ford F-150 or not, a Ford Mach-E. Like you're gonna compare how far does it go? What are the functionality? What are the features in it? Like things like that. If it's not better than your Corolla, you're not gonna switch to the Mach-E. But if there's something that's way better, like the freaking Model Y, then you're gonna pay up to do that. So it's not happening with Teslas because Teslas are so much better than the competition, but the competition is struggling to sell their EVs. Like their EVs aren't selling at all. It's because they're not as good.
Some of the automakers are managing it better than others.
Yeah, the recall, of course, some of the big news this morning and coming off of the earnings. One thing that really stuck out to me was this Pro line of business too. Mm-hmm. The margins that they're seeing in that part of the business, and on a dollar basis at least, kind of far outpacing what you're seeing across some of the Model E and even the kind of the ICE business that lingers as well. All of that considered, I think there's a major opportunity for investors to continue to evaluate where some of the pro market demand is here and where Ford can really accelerate for even within its EV business, where some of the crossover between that pro business is and where their advancements in electrifying the broader fleet with regard to larger contracts that they're going to be able to take on could be in the future here too.
Yeah, I mean, that Pro line is all well and good, but, people want to see this big EV bet delivering and paying off, and it's not happening here. Right. The company says it's still trying to make an 8% return on battery-powered models before interest and taxes in 3.5 years. But it didn't seem too convinced of that forecast, and that's also something now that analyst investors are questioning.
I remember all the hype around the Ford Lightning. I still want to try out a ride in the Ford Lightning.
3.5 years, they want 8%.
The Lightning, the GM Hummer out there, got to try them all.
Rivian.
The Rivian, yes. The R12, yeah. All right, well, cool. We'll take a ride this weekend.
So Ford wants
Rivian.
a 8% return in 3 years. And right now, let's get that again. Right now they are at, nope, not that one, right here. They're at negative 58.9%. So here's the interesting thing that's going to happen. You see, this quarter, Ford is negative. It's kind of hard to see where my mouse is. I got to get a better setup. But the mouse is hovering over the Ford Model E. They lost $1 billion this quarter. The Ford Blue, they made $2.3 billion, and then the Ford Pro, they made $2.4. So as the Ford Blue, which is their ICE division, I don't know why they call it Ford Blue, but whatever. Their ICE division is going to be shrinking over time because electric vehicles are on an exponential growth right now. So that's going to shrink. And then if they can't get this electric vehicle issue going on where they're making money, then they're gonna fail. So this is the delicate balance they have to figure out. They have to navigate, because if they get, like, say, $2 billion in losses, and then Ford Blue is only making $1 billion and Ford Pro is making $1 billion, then they're like stuck in the middle, then they're making nothing. So we have to monitor this. This is the most important thing to me, monitoring these numbers here. What are they going to do? How's it going to balance out? Is Ford saying that they want to slow down their EV revolution, their EV stuff? I don't know. So we're going to have to hear more about that in a bit. There's a bunch of videos coming out today, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to keep dropping them. So click on one of these to keep going and subscribe to the channel. Let's go.